Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to the Tetsudo Mokei Podcast edition. And this episode, for episode 38, we're going to do something a little different today. Today, I will be going on a train ride in California. This is actually going from Central California to various stations in the area. And I want to experience an Amtrak train. I've talked about it before. I've been, riding Japanese trains for so long that I haven't really ridden on an American train. So I figured this, why not give a chance to ride a American train, Amtrak. And I'm not sure what trains I'll be riding today, but joining with me is a friend, David, who is a professional traveler and train rider. He has pretty much went on many of the routes throughout the United States and also parts of Canada. He's ridden trains all over the world, and I'm an avid traveler, but he is possibly one of the few people that I've known who has traveled around the world, but also to experience trains around the world. So he's been to every continent except Antarctica. So I'm very grateful for him on joining me on this trip, to helping me understand how these Amtrak trains work in America, and giving me good insight also to the area. I'm unfamiliar with a lot of these places in California. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. I hope you enjoy it.
Make it interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to get over here a little bit. Maybe get in this eucalyptus tree in the right when it gets to that eucalyptus tree.
Yeah.
Or maybe you get where it's getting near the Hanford sign.
Exactly.
I thought it was trash. I almost put my trash in there. Sorry. Where are you going?
Let's see what kind of train we have here.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, it's always going to be BNSF. This one's carrying cars or empty cars. Car carrier. kinds of equipment that it's using. One's out of date and refurbished New Jersey Transit cars.
Yeah.
The other is the so-called California cars.
I think the ones I keep on seeing here, I think they're the 639s, I think, or 693s, or something like that. It looks like it was just blue and silver, but I don't know if those are the really old ones.
This looks like the single layer the old ones were stuck in. Now the good news is they give you a free snack lunch if you're on these things. The bad news is they're very bad for handicapped people. You got to go upstairs. You can barely open the door.
Yeah. I've not seen the black or white ones. Amtrak trains. I've only seen the blue, grays. So.
This is the new engine on here that just started like this year.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't even say Amtrak, it says Caltrans. So it's just... That's an old engine, and they took out the whole giant diesel engine and they made it into a baggage car.
Oh, wow.
And it still has the controls, so they can still be an engineer.
Yeah.
And power it from the front there, and then be pushed from the back.
Nice. Okay.
Seems like it's even a little early.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are all considered temporary cars till they get new double-decker equipment.
I see.
Look how hard this is for people to get in and out these steep stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting because like in Japan, everything's all level to the.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
The same thing in Switzerland. Yeah.
Double-decker ones are just one step up, period.
Yeah.
They can stay on the lower level if they're, have struggled to get up the seats.
Hello, thank you.
Hello. Come on,
and is this the kind where you sit wherever you want, or are they already pre-seated?
Where you want.
Oh, wow.
San Joaquin's, there's no signs.
I see.
So you don't have to switch the seats around.
Exactly.
Yard where they do all switching everything here in South Fresno.
The depot.
It's not the depot, this is the freight yard.
Okay.
So we'll come to that later. But first, this is more interesting because you're going to see how they divide up. So some trains, like that one's just pulling in, see?
Yeah.
That one's just arriving at Fresno. So maybe they're going to break it down, any local freight.
every seat, please, and you can put your belongings on top.
Every freight train, maybe local ones, are going to break down here, and then they're going to move the cars into local factories or something like that. Or build up cars here. Plus, they have some locomotives just sitting around waiting for the. So usually, now it's hit and miss. That's why I said get ready, because there might be this window's not so great anyway. But any second there could be an engine right on this line, and you don't know what type. It's an interesting one. This freight train.
A lot of reefer cars and petroleum. That's still pretty cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, for all my friends and passengers, it's a good time to start getting your things together. Get ready to exit the train. Fresno's going to be up here in about 4 minutes. And if you're in car 1, you need to come through 2 sets of doors. You next between 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, towards
There
the
was an
center
engine
of
in the middle there,
train.
but we couldn't get up
Get
There's some more. You see see the orange, and there's a Union Pacific, and a Norfolk Southern one. So they're just borrowing that Norfolk Southern. We'll see. Maybe on the end of this there'll be an engine, but guarantee we're going to see much. This one line's blocking all our views of all the other engines and things that were sitting there. Oh, see nothing like that. That's a disappointment. Well, that's.
There's another one right here.
Yeah, there might be an engine up here switching. But,
oh, they're wooden.
oh yeah, here it is. This guy just switches locally here. See, it's a small engine. It's only like 1,500 horsepower or something. That only just stays in this yard.
Wow.
You know, it just moves things around.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tracks. There's probably more of that now.
There might be just one over here. So yeah, this is a big yard. It's called,
Oh, this is like an Amtrak stop right here for Fresno?
in a few minutes. We have to curve around and go into one. It's going to go down to one track.
I see.
All these get reduced to one track. And interestingly, you'll notice it doesn't blow the horn when it goes through downtown Fresno. They let the city set an ordinance so it can't.
Oh wow!
Normally it has to blow the horn, but no, here they're exempt. There's only rare instances where it has road crossings and there's no.
Interesting.
This thing just burned recently. I noticed that before.
Oh wow!
Office building, and it looks like the whole place is abandoned.
Looks like there was an old track or trolley system or something that went back there.
There used to be a line. They used to put freight cars in there, and they no longer works.
Oh wow!
We don't use them anymore. Now we're going to go across. See this line right here?
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes.
Going across
What's
this
that?
way. This is a short line, meaning that some of the railroads, like Union Pacific, sold off some of the little branches, and some little railroad just moves called the Kyle. It's called Kyle, and or San Joaquin Valley Line. And they move cars on that line heading out to some farms and factories.
I see. I see.
And they do this line and the one that goes through Hanford east and west, it's north and south. I don't know if you've ever seen that locomotive. It's only one old diesel engine they use. So we have to we're heading right to that. There's the courthouse right there. That's where we're going to go right by that courthouse.
Oh wow.
So we're going to have to turn into Fresno here. Here we go. Right by the city hall, which is interesting. That was controversial, but it's an interesting building. I'm glad they built it. Maybe inefficient.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now arriving Fresno. This is going to be Fresno. Once again, you can exit between 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. If you're in car 1, you need to come to 2 sets of doors. You might want to start heading this way now. It's going to be very busy. We're getting a lot of people on.
One here. Okay.
Unfortunately, they redid these unused factories and made them into offices and other things down here.
Nice.
Some of them are looking pretty good. They don't get much use on the weekend like today. But see that old building was like a refrigerated building or some kind of warehouse, and now it's offices. And they've recently added those nice solar panels over the
Which one's the Amtrak station here? Here or there?
on the left.
Oh, okay.
This side. See, there's the courthouse, federal courthouse. This is the old station that they refurbished it. This first building is like the freight office headquarters. So
nice.
No passengers go in there. It's the next building is where the actual passenger station. Triple. Shot there. there is that's the high-speed rail bridge.
Oh,
And
wow.
right next to it is the 99 bridge over the San Joaquin River. Let's walk up and get our free snacks.
Okay. We are in the Amtrak CDTX 2103 Siemens Caltrans.
Maybe you get a whole shot. It says Merced and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of a neat shot.
Here we go. Double decker?
Ladies and gentlemen, and all aboard 712. This is 712, your southbound San Joaquin basic trip-on train here at Merced. As you do board today, general seating is upstairs. The lower level seats, the first seats you see up on board, is designated for passengers with disabilities. 25% unable to navigate stairs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, on board 712.
Or maybe on the other side, since we sat on this side.
Yeah.
Well, you see how they're exchanging, see? Be able to go up right, they didn't have his flag, and you could stand right there and watch him run the train and look out in front.
Oh, wow.
Now they got a little nervous, so they put that down. See, he's still got the door propped open with his watering tank.
Yeah.
But you see how vulnerable he is. If he hits like a gas truck or something, there's nothing but glass.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't have a big engine or anything. So that's why sometimes, at least on the Metro Link, they build a new car that has a cab. They spend a lot of money to put a cab on the car because of that.
Nicely air conditioned too.
Oh, with chicks, look at that.
Oh, nice.
See that? See the spoon bill on it?
That is so cool.
And it's got a.
I've never seen anything that was that cool.
Yeah, they're only found in the U.S. and Florida. You know, they're in Central America too, but. that. They sent me.
Oh, notification. That's cool.
Yeah.
Too shaky. But still.
In the old days, I used to, a lot of times I would sit right there, or sometimes the door would be closed, but here's the San Joaquin River.
Yeah, I wish I could get the window view from here, but it's too hard. Yeah.
Much better than we had coming up.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a nice vehicle. Did you see those?
Mustang Ranch, it says.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Mustang.
Yeah. That is so cool.
See the front of the TRANE. It's got the new engine plus the baggage car one. They got them both on the end instead of putting it up here. Isn't that odd?
Yeah. Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, our next scheduled station stop is Fresno. Fresno, California is coming up next. If Fresno is in your travel plans today, we do ask that you begin to make your way down the stairs at this time in preparation for our arrival into Fresno. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Fresno is coming up next.
Fresno's in your travel.
Yeah. No, Fresno's the only place where I see a lot of homeless.
You haven't been to Stockton yet. That's the
That's
the homeless headquarters up there. It's not as big as Fresno, but they have twice the homeless.
Really? Wow.
Gentlemen, I do suggest if you're exiting at Fresno, please make your way down the stairs. Once again, at this time, as we do have about 75 to 80 passengers boarded in Fresno, we want you to get caught in a wash. And once they do board, we will depart our train. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please make your way down the stairs if you're planning on exiting here at Fresno. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Fresno is coming up next. Thank you.
I still can't imagine having those trains right by a neighborhood like this.
Yeah, you gotta teach your kids, don't play on the tracks.
Yeah.
And I mean, freight trains are going by here all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone that goes through Hanford comes through this track here.
Yeah.
Look at that, it has a nurse and all those other heroes on that. Now we're right downtown. You get a shot of City Hall with your thing. There's the water tower.
Yep.
You'll be seeing that in a second.
But it's just interesting to see the disparity of the homeless in there. And then,
There's the water tower there.
yeah. Yeah, here is the Fresno City Hall.
Carrying steel, rolled steel.
Yeah. Oh man,
Oh my god.
that is nice. Coil cars. So they call them coil cars. Interesting.
There's another engine there.
Yeah.
The switcher.
Wow. Wisconsin Central.
It's just going to be a line of freight cars for a little while.
Yeah. Wow, nice BNSFs right here.
Oh, yeah.
I like the livery of those. Those are nice.
Yeah, aren't they nice colors?
Now, who's the one that's all yellow?
That's Union Pacific.
Pacific. Yeah, that's the one.
Stripe. There's an old caboose. Look at that. Look at
Yeah.
the shape it's in. All the windows are gone.
Oh, wow.
Why do they even keep it? What are they using it for?
Oh, and that's one thing you do not see in Japan. Graffiti.
Graffiti? No.
No. It's
Oh, here comes the northbound.
coming up right now.
Yeah, it's coming this way. It's going to be passing us, I think, on the other side.
This way? Let's go this way. Go here?
No, maybe it's going to be on
This side?
this side. Okay.
Oh, here it goes.
Now we're going to be going over the Union Pacific. This is where the two railroads cross. Right here, so you can always look down and see if there's a train waiting.
Yeah.
Nothing. Right there's the Union Pacific. So now we're on the west side of the Union Pacific. So that's why it goes by Goshen, near Visalia, whereas this train's heading to Hanford. They come back together again at Bakersfield, basically.
Is it nicer? Or is it the same, similar? Or what?
Is what nicer?
Going to Bakersfield, do they have a depot or anything like that? Or
The
something?
Bakersfield Depot is a modern structure, yeah, that was built in the 90s with stone, this beautiful sandstone from India,
Oh, wow.
kind of a brownish red, and with its glass and everything, really modern looking.
So they didn't let it import it?
square thing. So yeah, it's a neat Amtrak station. It's
My
one of the
goodness.
new ones.
Is this a junkyard? Yeah.
Yeah, we could have gone there and.
No, it's still pretty cool. This is still really, really cool to
Mexican
see.
place there, but we could eat at across from the station.
But
It's about the same as going to Merced. I like Merced.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hanford is coming up. Thank you.
Oh, that's opposite to the mall.
What?
Oh, the shopping center. Yeah.
Gentlemen, 712 is now arriving in Hanford. Now arriving in Hanford.
Wow. Here already. That's quick.
On time?
Yeah, that's pretty quick. You made good time.
Let's see, we're supposed to be here 2:21.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. See where it says bicycles right there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
We had to unlock it, but that's the part we couldn't get to.
Yeah.
You know, but if you had your bike, you would put it on there and then use another magnet.
Oh, so that's where the bikes go?
Stick them up in there. There's other cars where you put them in yourself and just wheel them around.
Yeah.
Just walk the whole length.
Okay.
Point Arena, they're all geographical points.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah.
You could use a little paint on the outside. This one doesn't even have its name anymore.
Yeah.
Replaced that door, but they didn't bother to paint it.
Yeah.
California.
Oh, look at this one right
So
here.
it is just Caltrans. Yeah, here's the one that they made the old street.
And that concludes the footage from today's trip. It's really interesting to ride the Amtrak, the CDTX 2103, and then, of course, the double-decker bus, the California one, afterward. But it's a bit different from, my experiences from Japan and so forth. The freight trains, I was not surprised of seeing the graffiti everywhere. Totally different vibe when you see Japanese freight trains and American freight trains. But I think one of the biggest differences is that with American freight trains, they're parked in an open field, which everyone can usually cross into and pretty much have contact with a train. Whereas in Japan, if anyone gets near a train, especially the photographers and everything, it's such a big deal right now. You can pretty much get disciplined and pretty much, get in big trouble. So it's something you don't want to do around in Japan. But in the U.S., it's pretty much on all the freight cars, which is really interesting. But there's no, one of the things that I've noticed is that there were shortages of staff, and I'm not sure if it's because it was a holiday, but there were stations closed, and I found that very surprising. But and also seeing how they operate with few employees, it's a different vibe, because in Japan, when it comes to trains, there's a total dedication of employees, especially when it comes, I think that's more towards Shinkansen, but even for regular trains, you see, well, you know what, now that I think about it, yeah, Shinkansen, you get a lot of, employees and the people cleaning things up and so forth, and especially certain express trains. Standard trains, I guess when you think about it, I really haven't really thought about the switchovers of crew, the cleaning crew, and such things like that. I know there's so many trains being operated every, continuously throughout the day, and I know that they do cleanups, usually late in the morning when they stop the trains. But yeah, it makes that gives me a food for thought. How do they manage that and so forth? But I never really explored that in Japan. Maybe I should do that. But this one was really interesting because when the train came, I was only familiar with the Tetsudo Mokei, the model trains of Amtrak's that have been released, and also what you see on the train simulator games. But when I got to see this train, I was shocked to see the Caltrans. And again, the Caltrans, I believe the train is pretty much, was it donated or what? I'm not really sure, but I do know that the seats, as mentioned from David, that it came from New Jersey. And these trains will hopefully be, the train cars itself will be refurbished, but I think the main train that you see in the front there is something that is newer, but everything else is much older, using refurbished parts, I believe. But you can see the difference. I mean, there's at least it has Wi-Fi. They have plug outlets for people to plug in and charge their phones or their tablets. So I think that's pretty cool. Some train cars have different types of seating, some with tables, some without tables. But if anything, I just wanted to experience what most train travelers do in California, and just see for myself how different things are compared to Japan. The other thing was the double-decker bus. That was really interesting, especially to see the food service in there. That's something that I guess I wasn't really, prepared to see. But for the most part, it was really fun. I really enjoyed the trip on here, but I do want to try the superliners and the sleeper trains. Of course, those are more expensive, and you have to be in certain areas to ride those. But I believe Martinez, California, and then Los Angeles, California, and then you could there's just various routes that one can ride. I think it was this one. Let me bring it up right here. So this is the image of the various routes through Amtrak and also Via Rail Canada. So David was showing me of how he's pretty much done every route in America. But I was wondering, he was showing me how the routes go if you want to go to Chicago, or if you want to go to New Orleans or Florida, just the various routes that you need to take and which main train station that you have to originate from to get to those locations. But I think what he did here is he tends to take the Pacific Coastliner because of the scenery from Southern California, Santa Barbara, and then he tends to ride it. And I think he told me that the next one he wants to do is from Toronto to what was it? Toronto and let's see here, Montreal. Here's a closer one right here. We could see it. But he said that if possible, take the Pacific Coast liner. Very beautiful scenery, especially of the beaches. And then everything else, he was just telling me about the Salt Lake City to Denver is really also nice and scenic. But this one right here is, late in the night, you'll be asleep by then or something like that. The other one, he was telling me about New Orleans. And he just pretty much took it all the way Los Angeles to New Orleans or so, or New Orleans to Los Angeles. But yeah, this is just a very interesting route for trains, for Amtrak trains. And of course the blue one is the what do you call it, the Via Rail Canada train routes. Because one of the things I was asking him is it possible to start from California and make it all the way to Maine? So that was something that I was very interested in finding out. Let me see here if I can get to another image. Was this the one? No, this is just traveling on Amtrak. But let's see if we can go all the way here. Okay, something's a little bit clearer right here. So, yeah, he was telling me if I was going to get to Maine, you would probably get to hear the Portland, and then you'll have to take the bus all the way up. But yeah, I know nothing about Maine. I just felt that this is really an area that would be interesting to try. I did notice that I was a little surprised because a lot of the 50 states are covered, in terms of train routes for Amtrak, but there's nothing. Well, I guess you could say this is part of Monterey or North Dakota, but Wyoming or South Dakota are probably the only states that I see here that don't have any form of, well, there is something here, I guess Cheyenne, Wyoming, but I think South Dakota is probably the only thing I don't really see anything. But yeah, I find this very, very interesting. And for the most part, this is an interesting way to look at traveling throughout the United States. So he told me one of the things you should, that he recommends to me is, you look at these star areas, and these places you could just stay here for several days, enjoy the location, and then be off again on the train and get to your primary area. So, yeah, I think he told me from Louisiana to California it took about 2 days or so on the sleeper train. So I just don't know the price of it because I know that the meals are included. There's different sleeper trains, I guess, that you could have depending on space. But he said it's a little costly, a little pricey. But when you factor in everything, especially with hotel and for travel and meals, then you can understand why all these things are included. You can see why it's a little expensive. But I think also is that I hope, looking at this, I hope to do these routes one of these days. I don't know too much about riding these sleeper lines, but it'll be interesting to try. I think this one was for me just interesting to see how things are in California with the Amtrak because I have no familiarity with it. Again, I'm so used to riding Japanese trains that riding on an American train was really interesting. It's also just a different vibe. So, but in a way, I kind of I enjoyed what I saw outside. You get to see a lot of the nature, the agriculture. Unfortunately, you also get to see the homeless issues because it seems like a lot of homeless are camped near the train tracks, especially in the Fresno area. But I heard that Stockton has it is even larger than that. The other thing that I noticed is that how close the train tracks were to actual homes, and so that was a little surprising. I mean, it's just literally in the middle of your block, so I can't imagine how the noise would be because you see areas where they put walls to protect areas from sound, but these areas are just pretty much neighborhoods. And granted, they go a little slower. The speed's a little slower when you are in this area, but yeah, you'll see it on this video. I mean, you probably saw in this video that the things I saw, and I'm just like, it's much different from what I have experienced in Japan. But this is America, and you get to see the good and the bad, and the ugly, right? So I think this is real. It's all real and just interesting. But overall, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, this video was just primarily me experiencing an Amtrak train, two types of Amtrak trains, but this is not the sleeper lines or the Superliner expresses. These are just standard trains that people use to go to various areas through California. And it's quite cost effective for a lot of people, so you don't have to pay on gas, especially the cost of gas in California is just too high. So it's air conditioned, which I liked. And as for food, I do know that we got water, little tiny bottled water and Cheez-Its, but when you think about it, the other trains, even Japan and stuff, you don't get things for free thrown in. You have to buy it for yourself. That's one thing I was asking. I was like, for one, I noticed that there were female conductors. That's something you usually don't see in Japan. And both trains were female conductors, so that was pretty cool. The second one was that I was expecting food services, like someone pushing a cart, like in Japan, but no, they don't have that. They just put a box of water and box of Cheez-Its on top of the table, and you just grab what you want. So I thought that was interesting. And then on the double-decker bus, you get to see, let's see if I got a photo of that right here. Yeah, here it is, the food services. So, they were selling like pizza and stuff like that. And I found that, they were selling other things like burritos and potato chips and M&Ms. And the good thing about this is that they do not charge like baseball games or sporting games, which they charge $8 for things. These ones were reasonably priced at like $2 or so. So I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, this was a very, very, I consider it as fun. It was just really informative and, educational for me, to see the differences between American trains and Japanese trains. But for the most part, I really hope that America works in enticing people to riding trains. I don't know of any, most countries, from France to, a lot of European countries and even some Asian countries, they have such dedication to their train system. And, for all developed major countries, it's surprising that America is no longer like that. But I do feel that, from what I saw, especially with the various documentaries going around, with the building of the bullet trains, I guess you could say, the high-speed rail in California. I don't really know what the latest is on that. I don't know if it will ever be completed in my lifetime or whose lifetime it is, but it's such a slow process. But I do hope that people look into the benefits of riding a train. But I think the train companies really have to do much of a better job trying to entice people to ride the trains. Japan really does so much to promote their rail lines, from commercials to making it look extravagant and nice, clean. And it's a culture that also, not everyone drives automobiles. A lot of people ride the train, so I understand that. But in the U.S., though, I do feel that, what I saw today, there's quite a bit of people. There's a good number of people riding the trains to get to their destinations for Mother's Day. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. People traveling with their children and going on trips. And I think it's very cool to see that. But at the same time, looking at the infrastructure and looking at the trains, especially of how things are maintained and how things are serviced, I would love to see more dedicated towards the trains. It's just America has gotten so far away from it, and there's documentaries of why that has happened, and it has to do with automobile makers, the competition against automobile makers, and automobile makers won, where a lot of people rather drive a car, and I understand all that, but again, I think I just feel that there has to be better ways to entice people to ride the train. We know that people ride the subways and people ride, like the BART station in the Bay Area and so forth. But in terms of just normal trains, that, I feel that I would like to see Amtrak really reaching out and just changing the look and the brand and just making it cool. I mean, you see what France is doing, Germany is doing, Netherlands is doing, in Japan, even Taiwan. It's just, wow. They're just, and I mean, there's just a lot of things happening in other countries that I just, such dedication and investment in their infrastructure. So it's just something I would like to see in America. And when it comes to trains, you just feel that more can be done. But right now, I think America is more of a freight train country versus passenger trains. So it's just how things are for now. But who knows? You could just hope for the positive. And but I did really enjoy what I saw, and I think that I hope for positive things in the future, especially if these trains get a new look, or some new trains are being built to replace the current ones right now, because you could tell they're slightly older, but at the same time, where Japan can switch off to new trains every 20 years or so. A lot of places in America, like I think we just saw a video months back about subways in New York just getting they've been around since the 50s or 60s, and they're just getting new replacements just this year. So it took a long time. I just hope it doesn't take that long for America to get really good Amtrak trains that people can ride, that people can enjoy, and just see the technology that America has to offer than something that's older than something that's just older technology, especially if you travel a lot and you've seen the trains from France, Germany, Japan, and so forth. But again, I like what I see, but you just feel that a lot more can be done. But for the most part, I had fun, and I look forward to trying these superliners and the sleeper and the sleeper trains. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I just wanted to give you, for those of you who are living outside of the U.S. and also outside of Japan, a chance to see how trains are. By watching this video, you'll see how I felt. It's just really an eye-opening experience, because it's totally different from other countries. But overall, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.